tip of your snap blade is getting dull, you can clip it off with a pair of pliers for a fresh tip. We need to fill spackling around this hole without making a mess. We can use a drywall knife to help us out. Seems like this paint roller brush is a bit too long. We can saw it down to the appropriate size and then put back the end piece where it belongs. This fits perfectly. This bolt keeps falling out of the socket. We can use a rubber band to hold it in place. Now just attach the socket. Remove the rubber band when finished. This bearing is looking a little bit dirty. We can remove a lot of the grime with just the help of some duct tape. By adding a binder clip and a pen to the back of this measuring tape, we can make quick marking gauge for marking straight lines. We can use some tacks to help us line up these dowels. Now we just drill our holes, and our dowels fit perfectly. This hammer is a bit too wide to reach this nail. We can stack another nail on top to drive the first nail all the way in. Here's a cool device that will help us screw in two pieces of board together. Let's create a tool that will help us safely sand small pieces of wood without injuring our fingers. We'll place the wood on one side and a wedge on the other side. Now we can sand safely. We can glue these clothespins to the wall to act as a hanger for any instructions or diagrams. We can still get this TV remote to work, even if we only have one battery. Insert the battery, and then roll up a piece of aluminum foil. Place it inside the other battery slot, and now you can use the remote. We can solder these two pieces of wire together by running an electric current through them. By drilling a hole into this bolt, we can pass wire rope through the bolt and then screw it into the post, making cable railing. Just be sure to secure the wire rope on the other side. If you're having a hard time toenailing, that is, hammering a nail into a stud, you can use a curved nail to make hammering a little easier. Now we're making a DIY expansion anchor. Round off the head of the bolt so that it fits into the PVC pipe. Add a washer and a bolt so that it looks like this. Place it into the block and tighten up the bolt until it's secure. This set of wrenches is a bit unorganized. We can fasten the head of this rake to the wall and hang all of our wrenches on that. If we cut these boards along the markings like so, we'll have a nice, secure stand that'll help us plane and sand our woodworking pieces. Here we have a dado joint that we are going to lock into place using these dowels. Drill holes, add some glue, insert the dowels, and then saw them flush. Then sand everything for a smooth finish. Next, we're cutting out a drill holder for our belt from this plastic bottle. These tabs will attach to our belt. This drill fits nicely. Let's make a tripod out of PVC. We'll drill some holes to create a slot that holds our phone. Then we'll cut out the legs of the tripod. Now we can watch all of our favorite videos. If we have an old fork, we can bend it like this and then use it as a wire twister. Let's use this brand new brush head with stiff bristles and attach it to the end of the rod and drill. Now we can scrub all the skin off these soaked potatoes in record time. It's much faster than peeling. By drilling a few holes in this board and adding a bit of varnish, we can make a stand for our pliers. Don't have a tripod for your laser level? Make a shallow slit into the drywall and place the angle grinder disc into the slot. Then set your level on top. We need our pipes fully insulated, including the elbow pipe. We'll simply cut both ends of the insulation at a 45-degree angle using a utility knife. Here's an interesting way to solder the ends of wires. First, we'll take out the soldering tip and replace it with a bolt and a bracket. We can stabilize our soldering iron. Now we can melt the solder into the bracket and then dip our wires into the solder directly. We can twist wires together nice and evenly by attaching a wooden dowel into a socket bit and then stick the wire into the wooden dowel. Secure the wires with pliers and drill. Cleaning the grout between tiles can be tedious. Here's an easy way to speed up the process. Cut off the head of a brush and drill a screw into its center. Tighten the screw into the chuck, and now the drill can do the scrubbing for us. If your jigsaw blade is dull, we can give it another use. Grind off the teeth with an angle grinder and then sharpen the edge like a knife. Attach it to a jigsaw, and now it can be used to cut cleanly through thick foam boards. The staple gun is a great and useful tool to have on the job, but ours happened to run out of staples a bit earlier than expected. That's okay. We can use an office stapler instead. We can use a rubber mallet to help fully drive the staples into the wood. Here's one way you can sharpen your pencil a bit faster, just using the help of a drill. Here we're going to use a wood clamp to help us mark parallel lines to the edge of the board. Unscrew the top and use the hole to make your mark. Next up is a DIY torque washer. Make 2 parallel incisions about halfway through both sides of a wide washer. Use a plier to bend the tines 90 degrees and then weld a nut onto the top of the washer. We can install it by hammering it in on one side and then securing it fully by screwing it in with a bolt. This is especially useful for building furniture. This water handle is broken. We can make a new handle using a cord on each side of the cord. Put each loop through the opposite loop, one under and one over, like so. Place the loop over the water bottle and pull it snug. Now we have an easy way to carry our water bottles. Anyone who's worked with wood knows that sanding can take a long time. Today, we'll try to speed up the process by making a sanding drum. By hot gluing a bolt to the center of this wooden dowel. Then we'll make a deep incision through the center of the dowel, and next we'll slide sandpaper into the incision, wrap it around, and glue the sandpaper onto itself. Now we have a sanding drum for all of our projects. Next, we're going to be making a homemade coffee grinder. We'll need 3 snap-off blades, snapped off to the correct size, an extra long bolt, and 4 nuts. Tighten the nuts to the end of the bolt with the blades in between. Make sure it's securely fastened so the blades stay put. Drill a hole into the center of the lid. Twist a nut to the center of the bolt and drop the washer on top of it. Place the lid over the washer and then another washer on top of the lid. Secure the whole thing with the final nut. Tighten the lid to the jar to make sure that the bolts can twist freely without any wobble. All that's left is to fill the jar with coffee beans and attach the bolt to the chuck and drill. Now we can brew a fresh cup of coffee to get our day started. Lastly, we'll be doing a bit of arts and crafts by making a simple decoration. Start by wrapping this wire tightly around this PVC pipe, then pulling it apart for the right shape. We'll bend the top into a little hook. Next, we'll hot glue a steel ball into the middle of our spring and let it dry. We'll tie a piece of string to the top end of the ornament